We have here the Ozark Trail in a size 55 G1 Explorer, 12.52 kgs, and in pounds, 27 pounds, 10 ounces. That's with pedals, a cage, and out front mount. Different seat on there. Stay tuned after video your free buy sound test on that wheel right there. So here it is, guys. This is the changed up Ozark in the G1 Explorer. We did a ton of upgrades, which we'll talk about in just a second here. But the new weight is now 22 pounds, 9 ounces, 10.21 kilograms. Stay tuned. We'll go over everything we just did, and I'll show you guys some of the stuff that weighed the most difference. All right, so here's the difference. We just dropped 5 pounds off this bicycle. Now, it still weighs 22 pounds, but that's pretty respectable for a $290 bike out of the box from Walmart. And Ozark is the Walmart brand. But they have been coming out with a lot of heat lately. The gravel, like I said, this is a great bike that you can buy without doing the upgrades, just to get a taste of gravel and see if you actually like it. But their mountain bike game at Walmart, they definitely went ahead and put some nice touches on their bikes out there. And they're doing some pretty competitive stuff out here. So what this customer did, he bought the bike for $290, and then he's like, hey, let me put some upgrades into this thing before I take the jump to go ahead and see if I'm into gravel. And it came out really, really nice. We changed he bought the wheels himself. These are Super Team wheels, a gravel wheel set from, I think, Amazon, or I don't know where he got them from, but they were $400 for the set. So $400 for carbon wheels with decent hubs and bladed spokes, which you really can't complain about. And they seem like decent spec wheels. After this shows or after this video, I'll have weights of everything, what the difference was from the stock wheels to these wheels, the stock crank, stock group, and stuff like that as well, and the stock fork. He also bought this carbon fiber fork online. Again, I don't know how much he paid for it, but he bought it online from like some kind of website that said it'll work with this bicycle, which it did. It worked flawlessly, no issues there. And then we went ahead and changed out the whole drivetrain to Microshift Sword, which is a 1x10 group set. And I'm very impressed with this group set. I think they did a phenomenal job for a mechanical group. This stuff feels like Shimano Ultegra did back in the day when 10-speed mechanical was around. It's a 1x setup. The rear derailleur looks really premium. I mean, that looks like a SRAM rear derailleur almost. A 10-speed micro shift cassette, and then we use a 10-speed Shimano chain on there as well. He bought the crank himself. So the stuff he bought in my store was the micro shift Sword group set, and that ran around $270 around there with rear derailleur, cassette, chain, and shifters on there. So all in all, Stammy swapped, CD swapped himself. He had. And he needed new rotors because the rotors are sensor lock now, and what the rotors were on his bike were 6-bolt. So he had these from a previous build on a different bike. But all in all, call it $400 for the wheels. I want to say $100 to $200 on the fork. $270 for the group. Maybe $50 to $100 for the crank and BB because you did need a different bottom bracket on there. And that's it. He's into the bike for under $1,000 for a pretty cool looking gravel bike. But yeah, I think he did a great job with the component choices, and you saved 5 pounds from the stock bike. It's 22 pounds down, which is respectable for the price point. And now you can go ahead and get out there and gravel. He kept the tires stock. He kept the tubes that he put in there. Those are TPU tubes, the same. And all in all, I think it's a really good job. So, but yeah, check it out. I'm going to give you guys a free buy sound test at the end of the video as well. And I'll go through the shifting on the Microshift Sword. But I'm about to show you guys all the weight differences between the stock wheels and these wheels, the stock crank and this crank, and also the stock fork and that fork as well. So that way you guys can have some weight weaning stuff. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you think it's worth it in the end? Or would you guys would have saved your money and upgrade to something different? Let me know. Can't really get a good weight of this because it's moving so much, but this is the stock 6-bolt 160 rotor, the 7-speed freewheel, the stock tire, and also the tube on here. But this thing's coming in right around, this thing's moving so much, man. I don't know why the hell this thing's moving so much. 2456, somewhere around there. Let's just call that. Let's call it 2450 for the grams. Now, we're going to keep all this stuff on here, but we're going to be taking out that tube, transferring these wheels over to the new wheels, the tires, and making them tubeless. All right, here's the front. Again, stock 160 bolts. The same tire that we're using, but with a tube inside there. $18.99. Okay, but we're putting on those rims, new rotors, new cassette, and making it tubeless. So 18, let's just call it 1900 and 2500. Go ahead and add it up. 35, 4400? 4400 grams. All right, so this was the rear wheel. The old one was 2500. This one's weighing at 1,990 grams. That's with the 10-speed Swords cassette and also the 160 millimeter Ultegra rotor. So we swapped out. We're not making it tubeless. I remember the customer wanted me to wrap it with tape. So these are the same TPU tubes that were in there for the first weight as well. So we saved off here about 500 grams on here, or a little bit more over 500 grams. So let's check out the front now. Now the front is weighing at 1,527 grams. That's with a Durace 160 millimeter rotor. And again, still the same TPU tube that was in there before and the same tires in theirs. So 1527. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the lines to remove the front derailleur, remove the crank, remove the bottom bracket, the square taper, remove the rear dur. I guess this thing's not even screwed on all the way from Walmart. But yeah, we have to cut these out, and then we're gonna be running new cables because he's doing, instead of the L2, we're doing the Microsoft Sword for the shifters. All right, so this was the original fork that came on the bike. The bike's a good bike because it's aluminum, but the fork is one of the heaviest parts about it because it's steel. This is the stock brake caliper that it comes attached with. This thing weighs at 1,645 grams for this fork. Now again, this is the heaviest part, I think, of the bike. It has a good amount of weight on there. So the customer is doing a carbon fork with a semi-hydraulic cable pull disc brake caliper. It's literally half the weight of it, 728 grams, and that's with an uncut steer as well. So I'll have to cut that steer and then I have to put a steer plug in there. But a good amount of weight savings are there for just the fork, which if you guys want to save weight there. All right, so we just removed the bottom bracket, the crank, and the front derailleur because we're doing a one bind here. So we removed everything out of here. Beautiful. Let's see how much we're saving because we took out the front derailleur going to this 2x crank, which just seems to be heavy, but this is all counting as one part. So this weighs 623, 231. Your bottom bracket, square taper, 313. Front derailleur with gasket, 129. Let's see what the other crank's gonna weigh at. Someone in the comment section do math. All right, here comes this crank arm with a 42 tooth chainring, 567. Non-drive side, 287. 7 for the preload bolt, and for the BB, 107. Here comes a free buy sound test on these Super Team wheels right here. And if you guys remembered, on the old Ozark wheels, it was a free wheel. There wasn't even a free moving cassette body on here. So now you have a free hub on here. So here we go. Very nice build. Now I'm gonna give you guys a test of the cassette in the back. All right, here we go. Here comes some shifting test right here. She wasn't. Very nice shifting.